Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great season. I hope you had a great week. Welcome you all to Game Week 4 deadline stream. For a change, I expect this deadline stream to be a pretty relaxed one, guys, with not too many questions. The reason being, I think the fixtures this game week are very favorable. Everybody's teams should or possibly look good without the exception of one or two players, but otherwise I think this is a good week to have a deadline stream, I'd say. Hey SH, I hope you're doing well. Hey Barry, hey Cinema Crazy, welcome guys. I hope you are having a good season and I hope you're all set for the game week, because I surely am. This is my final team for the game week. No changes to be made, just a second, I need to fix that. I assume it's, I think, yeah, there you go. Hey Ikchot, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Saka, Perisic or Cancelo Rodrigo? Question. Hey Mohammed, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Saka and Perisic and Cancelo and Rodrigo. Well, I'd say Cancelo and Rodrigo, they're more nailed on. Perisic cannot be in my opinion, cannot be the part of a playing 11. He should be the 12th player. You're just taking a risk. You're putting in the team, but you should have a cover on the bench, an able cover on the bench. If that happens, then I think this can work out pretty well with Saka and Perisic, to be honest with you. Otherwise, I think Cancelo and Rodrigo has a little bit more upside, because in my opinion, I think from Arsenal, Martinelli is good enough to cover Arsenal and Gabriel Jesus as well, and he costs less than Saka, Martinelli. Hey Jackson, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you had a great game week last week. So guys, this is my team. As you already know, I made 2 transfers last game week, and I took out Robertson and I added Cucurella, and I took out Leon Bailey and I put in Luis Diaz. Those were my 2 transfers last week. Although the direct the first impact of my transfers was not that good, because as you already know, if you see my last game week score, the defense was absolutely horrible. But the thing is, I'm not sure if anybody's defense did really well last game week, so yeah, that's at least a respite. Hey Buckshot, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you're having a good season. Sharon says, hey Wiz, would you go for KDB, James, Saliba, or Haaland, James, Perisic? So James is constant here. The difference is between KDB and Haaland, and Saliba and Perisic. I think Haaland, James, and Perisic has an upside in terms of giving you points. KDB, yes, has been getting some good scores, but in my personal opinion, I think Haaland is the one to own from Manchester City. The thing is, there's so many games coming thick and fast, guys, especially for the top 6-7 teams who are in the European leagues. I don't think that any player is safe at the moment, except maybe the central defenders, because so many games coming like thick and fast: Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, Carabao Cup and whatnot. So no player is safe, but just get the best options which you can. So in my opinion, I'd like Haaland, James and Perisic. Faz says, I have 2 transfers, still have Robo and Bailey, 0.5 in the bank, don't know what to do. In my opinion, this is not the game week to take out Robertson, my friend. I think if you have held on to Robertson till now, I think you should hold on to Robertson. If you want, you can play Bailey as well, because he has a decent fixture against West Ham United, who are not looking really, lost all 3 games they've played. Not looking good at all for them. So I think you can keep Bailey and Robertson for this game week, because in my opinion, this game week is not the week to transfer them out. Buckshot says I did Diaz last week as captain. Buckshot was not a bad call. Actually, Diaz played really well. Could have scored a goal on more than one occasion. It was just, I feel that the Liverpool team was playing without a midfield, and that is the reason they struggled. I mean, you can't go into that game with Milner and Milner, Henderson and Harvey Elliott. I mean that I didn't like at all in the Liverpool midfield. Even before the game, I actually tweeted, I don't like this midfield. I think this is where Liverpool is going to be exposed. And later on they had to bring on Fabinho. Barry says shocker of a game week last week. Well, Barry, the good thing is, I think almost everybody had a shocker, unless you owned somebody like Rodrigo or some very differential players who actually did well. Most of the actually heavily owned players didn't perform too well. So at least our captain. See, again, I always say the same thing, guys. If your captaincy works out, I think you're not going to have an abysmal game week. At least your captain, is the most important. Once you have a bad game week as well as a captain fail, that is the game week which actually puts you really, really down. Sharon says, what are your opinions on bringing in Gundogan? Do you think he's just overperforming at the moment? I don't think he's overperforming, my friend. To be honest with you, he's getting into really good positions the way City are setting up. The problem with Gundogan is I'm not sure about his minutes. As long as he keeps playing, I like his prospects, but I'm not sure of anybody's minutes in that City team. If Diaz can be dropped for Stones, I think anybody can be dropped from that City team. Nobody is safe. Except Ederson, maybe, So that's why I would not bring in Gundogan. Hey Abhishek, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Hey Cinema Crazy. Who would you bench? I have Rhea, Chilwell, Trippier, Cancelo. See, Chilwell definitely benched. Rhea I would obviously play. Trippier, Cancelo, Perisic, Harrison, Foden, Gundogan, Salah, Jesus, Tony. I would bench Chilwell, my friend. Fast says maybe I can go with Taylor to Stansfield, both 4.5. I don't want to waste my transfer. If you want to, you can do that. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. FPL Sam says Robertson starts, as has been narrated by Andy from Let's Rock FPL. That's good. I mean, I'm never in doubt, my friend. I was never in doubt that Robertson was going to start anyway, And this is not the game week to be transferring out Robertson, guys. I mean, if you've been sticking with him through those 3 game weeks and you transfer him out now, I feel that that's going to be 2 bad decisions, right? You 2 negatives, like it's never made a positive. So if you stuck with Robertson through all those 3 game weeks and he didn't give you any points, I think you should play him against Bournemouth, even if you have the urge to transfer him out, guys. Can give Saka one more chance or get Martinelli. See, to be honest with you, CAV, I think Martinelli is looking very, very good. I think if you want to own Saka, then you would have to kind of get Martinelli and Saka both, but if you already own him and you kind of want to give him one more game week, I think there's no problem there. I think you can definitely give Saka one more week and then make your decision to go with Martinelli. I think Saka was looking angry actually at not being amongst the goal scorers or the assist providers. I think he was looking a bit irked to me, and that's not a bad thing for a player to want to be involved in everything that is going on positively in the team. And Saka is very likely to sign a contract extension soon, so I think it's all positive. In my opinion, one more game week is not a bad idea for Saka. KDB less likely to get rotated compared to Haaland, the only thing putting me off. Sharon, I think they're equally likely to get rotated, my friend. I think KDB is actually moving on in years as well. I think Pep definitely would be wanting to give him rest as well, especially when they've got players who can cover for KDB. Haaland, they only got Alvarez who can cover for Haaland. So, in my opinion, they're both equally likely to get rotated, not one more than the other. Aiden, good morning, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Sylvester says, still, it be silly if not own Salah. Sylvester, to be honest with you, watching Liverpool play and all the returns that Salah's got, I think they've been a bit, it was just like a one-off kind of returns, and it's not that Salah has been very playing with a lot of conviction. I'm in the left back of Manchester United, managed to keep Salah quiet for like the entirety of the match, and the goal that he scored was just from a header when he managed to actually get a run on the defender. Otherwise, Salah hasn't looked that sharp. But the problem with not owning a player like Salah is the ownership as well, and the captaincy, the obvious captaincy candidate every week, Salah. 60% owned, and the expected ownership is going to be much higher. So that is the reason to own Salah. Based on the performance, yes, you can say that there are other players which you can own which are better than Salah, and I agree with you. At the moment, they are performing better than Salah. But just because of the sheer ownership numbers and the potential to be captain in every game week, it makes it almost like imperative to have Salah in your team, my friend. Matthias says, would you transfer out Walker for Perisic? Now that Robo starts, it's very hard to sell him. I think you should not sell Robo, in my opinion. If you have Robo, I think you should keep him, my friend. Also, would I transfer Walker out for Perisic? I think I would. Because I think Walker has less upside and Perisic has a lot of upside, and if we are going to wildcard in game week 8 or game before game week 9, I think for the next 3 or 4 game weeks it makes a very good idea to own somebody who has this explosive potential of scoring lots of points. CAV says, have Arsenal had a penalty? Is Saka still on them? CAV, what I've noticed from the preseason games and also from the previous season, at the end of previous season, I think anybody who wins the penalty in Arsenal takes the penalty at the moment. I don't think that there's one designated penalty taker. If that has changed, we're only going to find that out when they win a penalty. Otherwise, in my opinion, if Gabriel Jesus wins the penalty, he takes it. If Martinelli wins the penalty, he takes it. If Saka wins the penalty, he takes it. It's kind of that way, but what I feel at this moment in time. Amit says, hey Wiz, long time, hope everything is okay. Hey Amit, everything is fine, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Let me just pin the message. Robertson starts for anybody who joins the stream late. Thanks to Andy. We got this information, so let me pin this. There you go. All right. Abhishek says, do you think Haaland and Walker will start this game week? I think they will. In my predicted lineups, let me see here. I think they should. Don't see any reason for them not to, especially with the City thin in defense. Ake got injured last week. Yeah, I think Walker and Haaland both start, in my opinion. In my predicted lineups, that is what I've written, and I still stick by it. Shopnan says, what is your transfer plan? The transfer plan is to roll my transfer, my friend. Make 2, possibly 3 transfers next week. This game week, I don't see anything wrong with my team to kind of make the transfer, so I'm going to roll my transfer. That is the plan for this game week. Harrison or Gross for this week? I think Pascal Gross. The only thing putting me off Pascal Gross is because he's not on penalties, because last week we saw against West Ham United that McAllister was the one who took the penalty. Otherwise, but I think I prefer Gross. From Leeds, I think I prefer Aronson and Rodrigo more than Harrison, because Aronson because of his price and Rodrigo because of his explosive potential. Harrison is in between the two. CAV says, Salah is getting the goals without looking good. Definitely you want to keep him if you have him. Even if you don't have him, you have to find a way to get him, in my opinion. He's a captaincy. See guys, I always say this one thing you should recognize and realize. Captaincy is one of the most important things in this game. And if your captain is firing, even if you have a very bad game week, you'll still, survive. But an obvious captaincy candidate week in, week out, who is the other player in the game you can say you can captain every week without having to worry? I don't see that many players in the game. Even KDB, I can't captain with any conviction every week, So that's what Salah offers you, and you just have to take it. See, I'm not pushing any agenda here, That is just what my thinking is, guys. Amit says, rate my team. Raya, James, Trent, Walker, Saliba. You don't have Cancelo. Okay. Salah, Mount, Madison. Madison is injured. Martinelli, Haaland, Jesus. One free transfer, 0 point thinking to Kulusevski. I like it. I like that team. Yes, Amit. I think Madison to Kulusevski or Diaz makes perfect sense. I think that's a very good team. Mount, I don't like that much. He's been, he's been working really hard for the Chelsea team, but I don't see an attacking output in there. So that's something which you need to be concerned about. Otherwise, I think the team's good. Do you think Perisic starts? I think he does start this game. Just let me check my predicted lineups once again. I think that he starts this game against Nottingham first. I think Nottingham are the kind of team in which you want to start Perisic, because Nottingham are looking dangerous, especially with the 5 at the back system they play with the wing backs. I think Perisic will definitely should start, especially to push back Neco Williams, because Neco Williams has been looking really dangerous and they want to push him back. Paz says, Edison... guys, please ask me pointed questions. I'd be really thankful, because it's hard to kind of read the teams. CAV, assume you've seen the United team news, but United team news coming at 10:30. All right, let's. I'm on Twitter as I talk here. I'm keeping a watch on Twitter. If I have any team news, for example, FPL Sam has been very kind to kind of tell us that. On Twitter, and he's tweeted that Robertson is starting, so we're keeping an eye out for the news, guys. If we have any news, I'll let you know. I'll definitely let you know. George says, hi, I was considering Welbeck for good fixture until game week 9. I think that's not a bad idea, George. To be honest with you, if I the problem with Welbeck, players like Welbeck and Wilson they tend to get injured very easily, so that is the reason I like to stay away from these kinds of players, George. The players which I would definitely consider getting from Brighton are their keeper Sanchez. I like Dunk from the defense. From their midfield, I like Pascal Gross and Leandro Trossard. As a striker, I'm not really interested, but yes, you can definitely think about getting Welbeck if you feel strongly about that. But I personally don't like Welbeck. Geeta says, hey, Sanchez, Trippier, Trent, Cancelo, Rodrigo, Salah, Martinelli, KDB, Tony, Jesus. Should a starting 11 have Kane instead of KDB? No, I don't think so. I think this team looks pretty good. Kane or KDB, I think they're equally good. There's no reason to have a FOMO of Kane if you own KDB, my friend. Looks good. IZ Rida says, thanks for subscribing, by the way. Would Perisic for Martinelli make sense? Or is Martinelli a definite starter? My friend, Martinelli's been banging in the goal. He's been playing really well. I think if you want Perisic, I think it should not be at the expense of Martinelli, my friend. I think you should keep Martinelli, and you should definitely get Perisic if you want to, but not in place of Martinelli. Dominic says, currently on wildcard, Zinchenko plus Reed or Veltman plus Xhaka. What are your thoughts? Zinchenko plus Reed looks good to me, my friend. Gaspar says Bailey for De Silva. If you want, that's a low risk move. There's not much risk involved in getting De Silva. So yes, you can do it, my friend. Tuchel, my captain, and Conte, my vice captain. Yeah, that's funny. Amit says, thanks, Viz. Kulusevski or Diaz? Want to have fun with Kulu since I don't have Spurs cover and no players on Sunday. Well, that should not be the reason to get a player, Amit. Honestly, yeah, if you want to have fun, if your instinct says and tells you to go with Kulusevski, definitely be my guest. But just for the fact that you don't have any players on Sunday, you should play. You should get Kulusevski over Diaz, who plays Bournemouth. That is not the right reason to get Kulusevski. If you want to get a player, get him for the long term and get him for the right reason. That's all I want to say here. Hey Smelly Vab, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome to the stream. CAV says Dominic maybe go Lavia instead of Reed. I think that's fine. 4.5 players are good. It doesn't make much of a difference in my opinion. Faz says Diaz to Perisic, Souček to Gross, someone else. I like those moves, definitely. Diaz to Perisic looks okay to me, and Souček to Gross as well. Definitely looks good to me. West Ham are not playing well, so definitely a good time to move Soucek on. Shopman says, I have Saka. Do you have any stats if it is worth to keep him? What is the weakest side for Bournemouth? I did actually have a look. I think it is on their left side if I'm not wrong. Hang on. I can show you the stats for Saka. Let's go on to Fantasy Football Fix and we can have a look at the stats for Saka. Not a problem. Just a second here. Arsenal and Bukayo Saka. Let's compare his stats with Martinelli just for the context. It'll give you the context of how these players are playing. See. So as you can see, Martinelli's been a bit all over the place. Saka's been much closer to the touchline and been much, he's has a very concentrated heat map as compared to Martinelli's. Martinelli's been a bit all over the place. As you can see, Saka's had 5 shots. Let us see his shots. The shots that Saka's been taking are low XG shots, 0.07, 0.03, 0.04. No high XG chances for Saka. Martinelli, on the other hand, obviously been scoring goals, but you see Martinelli scored 1 goal from here. It was a very, very risky chance. But you see the high quality chances that Martinelli's been having as compared to Saka. Passes, obviously Saka has more than Martinelli. Touches, average position. See, Martinelli has a more advanced position as compared to Saka. Tackles, obviously we're not concerned with the tackles. You look at the stats here, guys. I mean, over the 3 games, 2 goals for Martinelli, 0 for Saka. 1.25 XG for Martinelli, 0.2 for Saka. 5 shots, but all low XG shots for Saka. Martinelli 7 shots on target, shots in the box. Martinelli is dominating all the stats at the moment, But to be honest with you, I wouldn't write Saka off. And I think if you have Saka, you can give him the Bournemouth game. I think this is not the game. If you've stuck by Saka in the first 3 game weeks, either you should have moved to Martinelli earlier. Now I think either you own both Saka and Martinelli, or you keep whichever you own. Now is not the time to kind of transfer Saka for Martinelli. That's what I feel personally, guys. Azara, hey, how you doing? Hey Wiz, should I bench Andreas or Bailey? If I was you, I would bench Andreas and I would play Bailey. I think Bailey got an assist in the last game. He started as well. I see no reason to start Andreas over Bailey, because Bailey plays against West Ham United and Andreas plays against Arsenal. Just looking at the opposition, I would play Bailey. Faz says Rashford is 6.3 million, very interesting, but need to watch United more games before jump their asset. I agree with you. Rashford was actually interesting right from the start of the season. Many people got him at the start, but they jumped off when they saw other assets like Rodrigo and Martinelli. But I agree he can be interesting if he starts playing more. I think Martial can be very interesting as well. If United improve, I think they have some really, really good value assets in there. Jadon Sancho as well. Would starting Perisic over Zinchenko make sense since Tottenham have an easier game? I mean, the only reason I would start Perisic over Zinchenko is because of his attacking threat, and if you own Perisic, I would consider starting him. Otherwise, there's no point in owning Perisic, even if you don't play him again against Nottingham. Zinchenko has less of an attacking threat, he just plays on the flank. Perisic is more like a third attacker on the left hand side. So definitely you can start him. See, Zinchenko has a higher probability of a clean sheet and Perisic has more chance of an attacking return. You should prioritize which one you want. Amit says thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. Always welcome. Do you have a predicted 11 for Villa? I do, and it is my own prediction algorithm which I actually run every week. I'll tell you. Just give me a second here. Let me tell you who I think starts for Villa. Let me read here. Just take me some time, obviously. But actually, I've made lists. So in my opinion, for Aston Villa, we have Dean, Cash, Konsa, McGinn, Watkins, Buendia, Jacob, Ramsey, Kamara. In my list, which I've predicted, I have not written that Bailey would start, but I would still put Bailey ahead of Andreas. In this, if you have him, I would put him in Fred in front of him. You think Foden will start? I think he's been starting almost all the games for City. I see no reason for Foden not to start. But again, just as you say, let me check. I think Foden will start. Even in my predicted lineups, I've written Foden will start. Hey Viz, are you making any transfers this week? No light rays, no trumpets this week, no late panic stations, no transfers. I'm just rolling my transfer. Raghav says, hey Viz, Rhea, Trent, Kinsella, James, Zinchenko, Rodrigo, Salah, Martinelli, Tony Holland, Jesus. Amazing team, Raghav. Like that a lot. Hi Viz, doubling on Liverpool defense, your thoughts? I think this week doubling up on their defense is good. They need to win. They have one of the easiest teams in the league. Even if they can't keep a clean sheet today, then I don't know when they can keep a clean sheet. So in my opinion, doubling on Liverpool defense, definitely a good idea. Shafiq says, hello, do you think Rodrigo will get points this game week considering Brighton kept clean sheets against Leeds for the past 2 games? See, if you're only getting a player for 1 week, then I don't think this is the right time to get Rodrigo. But he's been scoring goals, he's been confident, he's on penalties for Leeds, as long as at least Bamford doesn't start. So if you want to get Rodrigo for the long term, I don't see any point in waiting. I think you can get him right now. If he does well against Brighton, well and good. If he still doesn't do well against Brighton, at least you have your man, because he's gonna keep going up in price, and I see no reason to wait. He might very well. I mean, if Leeds can score 3 against Chelsea, what makes us think that they can't score 1 against Brighton? In my opinion, if you want to get Rodrigo, then you go and get him. Don't need to wait against, need to wait for game week 4 to be over. It's Mr. May says, thoughts on selling Robertson and Neto to bring in Nico Williams and Luis Diaz? This is a tough question. To be honest with you, it's Mr. Mays. I think you can do it if you want to, but technically speaking, Robertson, I think I would keep for this 1 game week, and you can do it next week as well. I think it'll give you more clarity on which players are going to start and how the rotation is going to impact. So saving your transfer is also not a bad idea, because if you compare their points, Robertson plus Neto and Nico Williams and Diaz, I don't think there's going to be much difference between the points. That's just my opinion, because if you wanted to get Diaz, you should have got him last week or in game week 2, because if we feel our decision has gone wrong, either we put it right or we stick to the fact that we've kept Robertson for 3 weeks, and now before Bournemouth we want to transfer him out. I'm not sure if this is the right approach. Surfros says, thanks brother. You're welcome, Surfros. Always welcome. I have 2 free transfers. Should I do Bailey to Kovacic? No, in my opinion. Why do you want to bring in Kovacic? He doesn't offer nothing in terms of attack. I mean, he's a good player, he's a fantastic player for Chelsea in the midfield, but we want to get players who give us points in FPL, not the players who look like, are good players in real football. For example, I would not get a player like Xavi Hernandez in FPL or Iniesta. I would like to get a player like Luis Suarez or David Villa, just giving you a Barcelona analogy. So no Kovacic, never for me. That's just my opinion again. If you feel you want to get him, definitely do, but I wouldn't. I would never. CAV says, I agree. I think Villa will have 2 up front again, but Bailey is a threat off the bench still. I agree with that. And West Ham are not been, defending well. And, they've been exposed a bit. And I think Aston Villa played well in the last game. And, I think we should give Bailey a chance if you own him. Otherwise, there's no point in keeping Bailey because the fixtures are going to turn very soon. So, yeah. Pope or Sanchez? Newcastle play against Wolves and Brighton play against Leeds. They both got difficult games. I think Sanchez. But the thing is, Pope plays away, Sanchez plays home. I think you can play Pope as well, Sharon. The thing is, it's no point in having 2 keepers. It's always going to give you a headache. Every week, it's going to be a decision to make which one to play. Just keep 1 goalkeeper and stick with him. I honestly think when you get 2 playing keepers, either you get 2 playing keepers who are going to be rotated, either they're going to be rotated, or you just go with the one which you have. It's always a headache every week for you to decide which one to go. If I ever had to go with one, I think I would personally go with Pope, just because he gets more save points. Faz says Soucek to already have NATO. I think you can think about Aronson of Leeds. You can think about Pascal Gross of Brighton. These are the two that I like. Manchester United unchanged from the Liverpool game. The news is out, guys, on Twitter. Just go and let me check, because a lot of our people are reporting in the chat. So just let me head over to Twitter and see where the news has been out. So FPL Mihir has tweeted. I'm not sure. Yeah, team news and ticks. Okay. No Casemiro, no Ronaldo. Why didn't I get the notification for team news and ticks? Yeah. So no Casemiro, no Ronaldo today, guys. Unchanged from Liverpool, the United team. Take that with a pinch of salt. This is the news which we are getting on Twitter, and this guy is almost every time he's right. So, just take it with a pinch of salt. Ashish says, then what about Bailey to Almiron? I don't like Almiron, my friend. He doesn't have any end product. This guy is, he misses open goals, in my opinion. He did score against City, and I agree with that. But honestly, I would like a person who has a better finishing ability than Miguel Almiron, and that's why I like actually Saint Maxima better than Almiron. Yeah, FPL Sam has written the team. Thank you so much, FPL Sam, for keeping us updated. I really appreciate it, my friend. Sharon says, my bad, I meant Pope or Sanchez for the long term. I think Sanchez. Long term, you mean till game week 8? Or do you want to save your wild card and keep him for a deep, until a longer duration? Then I think Pope is the better option. If you want to use your wild card after game week 8, then I would go with Sanchez. Definitely. Barry says, I haven't been watching Chelsea games. Is James the third centre back or a right wing back? He's been playing, the first game he played right wing back, but the last two games in which Chelsea lost, drew with Tottenham and lost to Leeds, he has played the right centre back. I don't understand why Tuchel is adamant on playing James as a right centre back. I mean, they've got Azpilicueta who can play there. They've got Chalobah who can play there. James' best position for Reece James is on the right wing back, and he insists on playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek there. I don't know. I don't like how Chelsea been playing. Then I should do Bailey to Elanga. 1 week punt. I don't like 1 week punts, Ashish. Honestly, again, this is not my style. I'm not saying you should not do it. Personally, I never take 1 week punts. If the punt should be for at least 3 or 4 weeks, that's a punt. 1 week, I don't like transferring in players for 1 week, honestly speaking. Just make long-term decisions. If they don't work for 1 week, see, if we think too short-term in FPL, eventually we're going to have to fight, always have to keep putting out fires because we made the wrong transfers. For example, if Elanga doesn't fire this game week, again you're gonna have to burn a transfer. You wasted one transfer bringing Elanga in, you're gonna waste one more transfer taking Elanga out. Do you think that's the right way? We get 33 transfers over the entire season. Do you really think we should be wasting our transfers, guys? Just consider this. Is Aronson foolproof once Bamford comes back? This question is difficult for me to answer. I mean, they've still got Sinestra to come, and he scored a really good goal as well. So I'm not sure if he's foolproof, but I mean, he's been playing really well. I don't see any reason for Jesse Marsch to drop him. This guy has some magic in his feet. I like him a lot, and and once Bamford comes back, let's see what happens. It's just not that big of a deal. He's a 5.5 million player. We can move him on in case something bad happens, right? George says 4.5 forward to Welbeck or roll free transfer and play De Silva. To be honest with you, you can play De Silva, my friend. Because the thing is, Welbeck, if you really want Welbeck, because in that price bracket, I don't see any good strikers. I really like Mitrovic, I like Tony, but other than that, I don't really like the cheap strikers. Wilson obviously is injured, so So in my opinion, if you really feel strongly about Welbeck, you can. Otherwise, I think play De Silva, my friend. Where's your views on Casemiro? I think he's a defensive midfielder, my friend. It's not FPL material. Really good player for United to sign. A very good defensive midfielder, but not for FPL in my opinion. Pascal Gross or Harrison? In my opinion, long-term Pascal Gross. You think Robo will play? I think we already have confirmation that Robo is going to start Rafa. So I think you should be pretty safe there. If you see my pinned message at the top, I already written Robertson starts. It was tweeted by Andy from Let's Talk FPL. So, we trust his source and we hope that he does start. You change NATO to Gross? I think you can. There's no reason not to. I don't think NATO's been that good. He's been missing open goals and stuff, and Pascal Gross has been looking really good. But if you make that transfer, remember that Pascal Gross is not going to take penalties every week. We are not sure who is on penalties for Brighton. You should know this. Ashish says, then please suggest me best replacement for Bailey. I have 2 free transfers and I don't want to waste it. Ashish, how much money do you have in the bank? Can you just tell me again? I'm sure you told me before, but I skipped my mind. I'll definitely try my best to help you if you can tell me how much money in the bank you have. Charlie says, who would you start out of Walker, Cucurella, and Rodrigo? I would start Rodrigo, Charlie. I always prefer the attacking players over the defenders, my friend. Although it's difficult because they are both from premium teams and Rodrigo is from Leeds, but the form he's in, you have to take a chance by starting Rodrigo, my friend. Best 5 million defender except Arsenal player. I think Lewis Dunk at 4.5 million is pretty good. I really like him, because there are not many options in this price bracket. I would say Cucurella, but I'm not sure about the Chelsea defense anymore, so I would not recommend you to go there, although I'm having 2 Chelsea defenders. But that was from game week 2 when I saw them play Tottenham, not from the week I saw them play Leeds. If I would have seen the Leeds match, I would not have got Cucurella and James, not doubled up on them. Rafa says, thanks bro, you're welcome my friend, always welcome. Best NATO replacement. I think you can think about Aronson, you can think about Rodrigo, you can even think about Pascal Gross. I think there's pretty good options developing. Obviously you must already have Martinelli, otherwise it's a no-brainer to go with Martinelli. Even, guys, this guy from Wolves, Gadish, he played as a striker for them. Just let me show you. I think he's a 6 million midfielder. I think if anybody wants to take a punt on him, he looked really good to me playing against Tottenham. Gadish, his name is, right? Gadish? Yes. No. He's a midfielder. 6 million midfielder. Look how many shots he took against Tottenham. Look at his, threat. 41 against Tottenham. He almost scored a goal. He was really a live wire, and he can play on the wing. He had a really good game. Look at the creativity. 36.9. Threat. 41. I really like the look of this player. If you want a like-for-like replacement for Pedro Neto from the Wolves team, because they have some good fixtures coming up, like for example Newcastle, Bournemouth, Southampton. Newcastle is not a good fixture per se, but Bournemouth and Southampton. I think Gadesh at 6 million. I think people are not realizing the potential this guy has and the potential to score points that this guy has. I looked really good against Tottenham, this Gadesh guy. 6 million midfielder playing as a striker. I really, really like the look of that. Thomas, sorry, I think I missed a comment. Hey Wiz, I'm on a wildcard. Should I have Ederson, Zinchenko and Pascal Gross, or Sanchez, Saliba and Gundogan? I like the first one better. Ederson, Zinchenko and Pascal Gross. I like this one better, bro. Ashish says, I have 0.2 in the bank. I have Bailey and NATO. I want one of them out because I have 2 free transfers. Then why not downgrade Bailey to a cheap 4. Guys, one more thing. Anybody who's looking for a defender, Wesley Fofana just got transferred to Chelsea. He's a 4.4 million defender who's going to be starting for Chelsea. So you can also look there. You can look there because Chelsea paid 75 million for Fofana. I'm not sure if they're going to bench him. I think he's going to play right centre back. So you can think about getting Fofana at 4.4, a Chelsea defender you're going to get. So be wary about this. You should know this, even if you don't want to get him. Ashish, just transfer out one of your players, get in Harrison Reed or Andreas Pereira or any of the 4.5 million midfielders, and then you can upgrade NATO to somebody like Rodrigo, Pascal Gross, and this type of player. I even gave you the option of Gedesh from Wolves. I really like him as well. So there's many options, my friend. If you don't want to burn your transfers, you really feel strongly you won't need to get rid of Bailey and NATO, then I think you have to. Just downgrade one and upgrade the other one. That's the only option. Lee says, Viz, are you making any transfers? Lee, I'm not making any transfers this game week, my friend. I think that's apparent from the way I'm talking. No trumpets today. No panic stations. Rueri Senat says, Bailey to Aronson but bench Rico Henry. Or have 2 free transfers next week and do Bailey to Harrison. Rueri, to be honest with you, I always like it better when you have 2 free transfers and you're not forced to make a move. And the second thing is Aronson plays against Brighton, so it's not like he's going to score a hat-trick, in my opinion. If he scores, then obviously I'm going to be proved wrong. But Brighton have a good defense, so it's not that you have to essentially make this move. You can just put Bailey and or play Henry and bench Bailey and then make 2 transfers next week. I always like this option better. I'm doing the same with my team as well. So just I like this way better. It's my opinion, my style of playing. Hey Michael, I hope you're doing well. He says, morning Viz, this is my team. Mendy, Trent, Cancelo, James, Bailey. Which Bailey is this? Martinelli, Gross, Salah, Tony, Haaland, Jesus. Bench is Cash, Andreas, Nico Williams. Would you roll a transfer with 0.7 in the bank or who in? But don't see any options which you can actually get, my friend. I don't. You've got 1 transfer, right? You can. And you've got James Bailey. I think this is Leon Bailey here, right? You can, but you don't have the money to kind of upgrade. You can only go to Aronson, but that would be a forced transfer. I would roll the transfer, Michael. I would make a decision next week when you have 2 transfers and 7.7 in the bank. Next week, I think it would be easier for you to kind of shuffle your team around. This week, I think any transfer you make would look like a forced transfer. Unless you want to transfer out Mendy or get somebody like Sanchez or somebody, otherwise, I think roll your transfer, bro. Cinema Crazy says, Trippier or Gross for this week? Very difficult question, Cinema Crazy. I think go with Trippier because he has the potential to score free kicks as well. Otherwise, I always prefer the attacking player, but Trippier, you can definitely think about Trippier. Barry says, if James continues at right centre back, would he be worth it? Surely the Chelsea defence sorts itself out eventually. I think Reece James is definitely worth keeping, my friend. Even if he plays at right centre back, which I don't think is going to happen for a very long time. But he's done nothing wrong to warrant taking him out of the team. Every week you can look at his stats. 19 threat, 50 creativity. 25 threat, 21 creativity. 9 threat, 13 creativity. But this was against Leeds, in which Chelsea didn't do much at all. But looking at his stats, I'd say no matter where James plays, as long as he starts, you should keep him. Too many comments, guys. Guys, please ask me pointed questions. We're getting to the end of the stream. I want to be able to answer as many questions as possible. Please don't write your teams. It's better to ask me pointed questions. Should I bring in James or wait till Chelsea regains their form? I'm joining my mini league on game week 4, so I got some catching up to do. Also not sure to go for KDB or Haaland. If I was you, I would bring in James and I would go for Haaland over KDB. Is Emerson Royale nailed? Cash to Emerson Royal? I don't think so. If I was you, either I would get Perisic from Tottenham or nobody else. I don't like the prospects of Emerson Royal. He makes too many mistakes. His attacking threat is limited. His crosses always find the opposition heads. I don't like Emerson Royal personally. I've been watching all their games. Also, I'm an Arsenal fan. Tony or Mitrovic for long term? This is a very difficult question to answer. I'd say Ivan Tony. At this moment, he looks absolutely good. Mitrovic, I think, has more Goal scoring potential, definitely, but I think Ivan Toney is a more all-round player. He could, even if he doesn't take, score a goal, he can give you a couple of assists and this kind of stuff. But I think they're both good, Raghav. But if you can afford, I would go with Toney. Any updates across all games? I think the United, I already relayed the United team sheet is unchanged from Liverpool, and Robertson starts, and that is the only news that we've got. Should I hold Foden? Yes, why not? He's been playing well. Viz, how many points did you get last week? How many did I get last week? I didn't even realize. 50 points. I got 50 points last week, my friend. Yep, 50. 50. If Kane not play, Richarlison will be start. If Kane doesn't play, then Richarlison. But I'm not sure why Kane would not play, to be honest with you. But yes, if Kane doesn't play, then definitely Richarlison has a more chance of starting. Why not? Guys, 10 minutes to go. Lock your teams. Let me answer as many questions as possible. Lee says, hey Biz, who should I bench between Zinchenko, Perisic, Rodrigo, Gross, or Tony? My God, Lee, you've got a problem. It's very difficult to call, my friend. They all look good options. I think it has to be between Zinchenko and Pascal Gross, because I think they have the lowest ceiling among all the players. I think you have to bench Zinchenko or Rodrigo. Oh, Zinchenko or Pascal Gross. One of them, my friend. Guys, please ask pointed questions. Is this your final lineup? Says Salam. Yes, Salam, my final lineup, my friend. De Silva for Neto. I mean, if you don't have any other options, you can go for De Silva for Neto. Otherwise, just play Neto and roll a transfer, and you can make a decision next week. Just like, I want to get Neto out of my team, but I am not going to be forced by transfers. If I can't find a good player to buy, or if I don't have enough cash, I will not take a hit and take out Neto. I will keep Neto in my team for one more week, and then I can take him out next week. Guys, don't be forced into transfers. Don't let your psychology be forced into transfers. Just remember this. Start Cash, Andreas, or Neko instead of Bailey. I think Cash can be started. Andreas, I think there's not much to choose between them. Michael, I think they're all looking good to me. You can even start Bailey if you want, but if you want to bench him, then I think you can definitely start Andreas or Cash over Neko Williams, I think. Best 5.5 million defender. Who would I get at 5.5 million? I think Perisic. Honestly speaking, I think Perisic. You can't look beyond him. Just looked absolutely crazy against Wolves. Zara says, I have 3.5 in the bank. Should I do Bailey to Luis Diaz or roll the transfer? Do Bailey to Luis Diaz, Zara. If you have the money, do it. Sterling or Mount? Sterling. Looks dangerous, not scoring many points. Salah to KDB if Liverpool continue to underperform. No chance. Sushant. I would keep Salah. Achitan says, I would really like to have Harrison in for Neto, but I have no funds. I should either do Mbumo to 4.5 forward or Cash to Patterson. Achitan, if you have two transfers, you can think about it, or just play Neto for one more week, and then you can make this decision next week with more information. It's all up to you, bro. Michael says, thanks, you're welcome, Michael. Always welcome. Refusion says, are you saving your transfer, Viz? Yes, Refusion. I'm rolling my transfer. Next week, I'm possibly going to make 2, maybe 3 transfers. Just revamp my team a little. Keep Walker. Why not? I think they have a decent fixture. Zaha is not playing. I think I would keep Walker. Kane or Haaland? Haaland. This is a difficult one at this moment to call, to be honest with you. Kane or Haaland, they're both good. I would still go for Haaland. Thanks, Wiz, and all the best, says Achitan. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. Got 2 transfers. Should I do Neko Williams to Fofana? Neko Williams is not the kind of player you want to transfer out, Surfrose, my friend. He's playing every week. He's a 4 million player. If you want to go for Fofana, be my guest. But I think even at 4.5, Fofana would be a decent value. But we need to see how many games he starts. Essentially, Neko Williams is a starting player. Fofana, we don't know how much time he takes to integrate, maybe 2, 3, 4 games. You don't want to miss out on those bench points. Got 2 transfers. Yeah, already answered that. ProGamer says, Neto to De Silva done. Best of luck, Wiz. Cheers, ProGamer. I hope you have a great game week, my friend. And best of luck to you as well. Guys, 5 minutes to go almost. Please lock your teams. Madison to Rodrigo or Zaha For Zaha is injured, my friend. Don't get Zaha this game week. Or substitute Madison. And I think it's better to substitute Madison with Andreas Pereira, because if in case you want to get Zaha, then it's better to wait for one more week because he's injured this week. Don't get Rodrigo just because of 1 week. First, decide which one you want to get, Rodrigo or Zaha. If you want to get Zaha, then play Andreas Pereira this week and then get him Zaha next week. If you want to get Rodrigo, out of the two you prefer Rodrigo, then you can get him this week. Wong says, I have a free transfer now. I want to sell Mendy and buy Sanchez. Is it a good move? I think it is a decent way to take out 0.5 million and get a decent keeper, because Mendy is also not the kind of keeper who's gonna make like 10 saves in a game. Chelsea don't give the opposition that many like shots generally, right? They did concede 3 goals to Leeds, but generally Mendy is not the kind of player who will give you too many points. So if you have a free transfer to burn, then Mendy to Sanchez makes sense to me for sure. Saka and Roll or Foden. I would keep Saka this game week. Foden can be done next week. Saka plays against Fulham, and I think you should give him this chance. Surfros says, thanks Wiz, just so impressed with your knowledge on football, God bless. Cheers Surfros. I always try my best, bro. N says, keep or sell Elanga. If you already have him, I think you should keep him, my friend. If you have him, you should keep him, my friend. Always. No point in selling Elanga right now, my friend. Abhijit says, hey Wiz, I don't have any Chelsea defenders. Should I be worried about that? I don't think so, Abhijit. I mean, the only thing you should be worried about is James, because his ownership, 1, 2, his potential. If he starts at right wing back, I think he has a chance to do damage. And second, his ownership is around 45%, and that can hurt you, the overall rank, if it goes against you, my friend. And that is the only defender I would be worried about. I would not be worried about Cucurella. I wouldn't be worried about any of the others. The only one I should be worried about is Reece James. Wong says, thanks Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Always welcome. Play De Silva or Neto? This is a difficult question. I mean, you can play De Silva, but the goals he scored was not the convincing goals. I mean, there was a mistake by De Gea, to be honest with you. If you want, you can. I don't think there's going to be much difference between their points, my friend. Just go with your gut. There's not much to choose between these two, so I personally can't make this call for you, bro. If there was a clear statistical difference, I would tell you, but there's not. Maybe, I mean, how much is NATO? 9%. There's not going to be much between them, my friend, in the end, I think. United says, Gyavo says, Haaland plus Walker to Kane and Perisic for a hit. As Perisic is starting, I'm tempted. My friend, I mean, Haaland plays against Crystal Palace. Walker is going to start, and Crystal Palace team is not going to have Zaha. If it wasn't for a hit, I would have told you to do it. If you can just do Walker to Perisic, I think that is a better move to make rather than taking a hit. I would do just Walker to Perisic if you want. All the best for game week 4, says Wong. Same to you, my friend. I hope you have a great game week. Or just do James to Perisic, have Cucurella. I would do Cucurella to Perisic. I would keep James. I don't know your style of playing, but in my opinion, James is a great asset to own in FPL. I would not transfer out James, my friend. FPL Jug says, hi Wiz, did you make any transfers? No, Jug, I'm rolling my transfer this week. I'm gonna make 2 or 3 next week, bro. No transfers this week. Zara says, team locked and loaded. Good luck, Zara. Hope you have a great game week. Caroline says, should I start Madison or Andreas Pereira? Madison is injured, Caroline. He's not going to play this game week. Either you transfer out Madison for somebody else, or you can start Andreas Pereira and put Madison on the bench. We're fairly sure that Madison is not going to play this game week against Chelsea. Definitely sure. Because Sam Martin from the Leicester FPL on Twitter, he's tweeted, and his information is mostly reliable. So Madison is not going to play. Either transfer him out or bench him. Green arrow says Buckshot. May the arrows be green, Buckshot. Guayo says, yes, I don't have the funds to do Kukurea to Perisic, so thank you though. Guayo, then I think roll the transfer, bro. Don't be forced into transfers. Never be forced into transfers. Martinelli a must. I'm not gonna say he's a must, but why would you not want to own Martinelli, my friend? There is no reason not to own Martinelli. Leaks are that the United team is the same as last week, which started against Liverpool. No Ronaldo, no Casemiro, and another leak is Robertson is starting. These are the two leaks that we got, Jugs. Caroline says, who should I transfer out Madison for? How much do you have in the bank? Caroline, you don't have time. You don't have time. Quickly lock your team. If you want to transfer out Madison, you can get Pascal Gross, Rodrigo, Aronson, but I think you should make this decision next week. Last minute is not the time to be making this decision. Just lock your team right now. Put Andreas Pereira, or put just Madison in the team and put Andreas Pereira in the bench. He's automatically going to come in. Doesn't matter. Just set your captain, lock your team. Lock your team. There's no time to be making transfers the last minute. You always get your team hodgepodge. United are going to lose today? No, I don't think so. I'm not sure what's going to happen with United. The Liverpool game was a bit crazy, but Southampton have not been in the best of form either, to be honest with you, although Che Adams has been playing well. Let's see what happens, my friends. Let's see what happens. Last minute, guys. The deadline is, there you go, 3:30 for me. The deadline is over. Guys, Caroline, I honestly want to tell you, was Robertson a rumor to start? Buckshot, yes, there was a rumor he's going to start. Andy from Let's Talk FPL, he tweeted that Robertson was going to start, and we trust his information. So, guys, I always, guys, recommend you not to make last-minute transfers. I'm here for the entire hour before the deadline, and, I'm here answering all your comments. Please don't leave your transfers late. One of the reasons not to make late transfers is when you make a transfer, your team formation, it gets modified, and then if you make it in the last minute, sometimes a player like Salah can get benched. Then what will you do? What will you do about that? So making late transfers only works if you've got 2 minutes to make the transfer and set your team. Otherwise, in my personal opinion, you should avoid making last minute transfers. Buckshot says last minute transfers is stresspolic. Absolutely, my friend. United Goya says thank you, brother. United, you're always welcome, my friend. Thank you for being on the stream. I really appreciate it. Lightrace says time. Abhijit says locked. Well, that's great. Everybody's logged and loaded. And this game, if you look at the fixtures, some people have all the 11 players which they own playing today. It's a bit of a catch-22. I've only got NATO playing tomorrow. Otherwise, I've also gotten 10 players playing today. So today's a big day for FPL. And tomorrow, only people who own Spurs players, Perisic, Kanes and Kulusevskis are the ones who are going to be having fun. Or me, like Pedro Neto, expecting him to get 3 points. Are the only ones who are going to be watching with any FPL interest. Buckshot says thank you for the amazing stream. You're always welcome, Buckshot. Thank you for being here, bro. Smelly Web says thanks for another great stream. You're welcome, Smelly Web. Thank you for being here. Barry says thank you. Is always welcome, Barry. Thank you. I don't have anyone playing tomorrow, says Jug. Yeah, I think there's going to be many people in the same position as you, Jugs. Definitely going to be many people here. Let's just have a quick look at the fixtures. I don't want to leave this stream incomplete, so I'm just gonna walk you through and quickly with my predictions, and then we're gonna get to an end of the stream. So Southampton versus United, guys, this is gonna be a very interesting game. Southampton have been looking better. They beat Leicester away at the King Power Stadium, although Leicester are not a team to be measuring your form currently, but still, they beat Leicester at the King Power Stadium. I think this is going to be a good game between Southampton and Manchester United. United are going to be buoyant from the last week's win over Liverpool. I think United going to come strong. Let's see how Southampton can resist. I predict a 2-1 win for United in this one. I'm going a little bit with my instinct here, so I'd say 2-1 to United. I think United will end up winning this game. So yeah, I'll just give you all my predictions and I'll read the predictions at the end. So if you're commenting, guys, do comment with the name of the teams and then so that I can read at the end. Brentford Everton. I think this game Brentford are going to win. I think Brentford have been started this season really strongly. They've been very good. Mbumo has looked really good. Their midfield has been dominating some of the football they've been playing. You know, even in adverse situations when they're behind, they still find a way. Although the last week's loss against Fulham would hurt them because Mitrovic scored right at the end, you know, and Brentford found a way to claw back into the game twice, but Fulham again pegged them back. So it was a really good game to watch, but I think Brentford gonna win this game. Scoreline, not sure. Maybe 2-1 again to Brentford. I think I'm going conservative today, but feel like a 2-1 scoreline here. I'm not sure who's going to score for Everton though. Brighton versus Leeds. This is a very difficult fixture for me to predict, guys. Leeds are a very, very uncertain team at the moment. As much certain are Brighton, Leeds are equal and opposite uncertain. So, you know, they started the season in very good form. Two in-form teams playing. I think this match could end at 0-0. I think the midfields could cancel them out, each other out. And this match could actually end at a 0-0, you know. But it's a very bold prediction, to be honest with you guys. It's hard for me to predict this game as well, you know. So we have to take this with a pinch of salt because it's hard to predict this game. But I'd say 0-0 for Brighton and Leeds. I would love to hear your predictions on this one, guys. Do let me know in the comments. Chelsea versus Leicester. I think Chelsea going to win this game. I think 2-0 Chelsea are going to win. Maddison was the main creative impetus, the goal scoring, you know, force of Leicester, and he's injured. I don't think Leicester going to, and with Wesley Fofana gone as well, I think the Leicester team is going to be in doldrums, not signing any new players, and you know, selling all your players is not the right way to go, in my opinion. But I think Chelsea gonna win this 2-0, and because Chelsea gonna be wanting to come back after that Leeds loss, and I think Tuchel is the kind of manager who likes to come back really quickly. See, I see in the comments that, you know, for example, everybody's predicting the Brighton and Leeds scores differently. Sushant says 1-1. FPL some says 1-1 as well. Pro Gamer says 2-1 to Brighton, and I predicted 0-0. So it's hard to kind of predict that game. Chelsea, I see 2-0 to Chelsea. I already said. I think this is going to be a win for Chelsea. Liverpool going to beat Bournemouth. I think 3-0 is going to be the score. I don't think Bournemouth are going to score. I think Klopp is going to tighten their defense. Maybe he's going to bring in Konate. I don't know what's going on there, because Virgil van Dijk looked off against United. He didn't make a challenge, just stood there while Jadon Sancho scored that goal. Liverpool versus Bournemouth, I see 3-0 in this game. I predict this. Manchester City versus Palace, 2-0. I don't think Manchester City are gonna absolutely hammer Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace are too good of a team to get hammered, you know. But I think Zaha was their main counter-attacking outlet even against Liverpool. And with Zaha being absent, I see Crystal Palace struggling in this game a bit. If Zaha was there, then I think Crystal Palace could have got one goal from this game. Today, I don't see Crystal Palace scoring because their talisman is not going to play today. Wilfried Zaha. City is going to win this 2-0. I'm going with a conservative score. It could be more. You never can tell with Manchester City these days how they're going to take their foot off the gas or they're going to keep going. But 2-0 for City. Arsenal versus Fulham. Guys, this is very hard for me to predict. I can't say how this game is going to go, but I expect Mitrovic to give problems to William Saliba and Gabriel. He's just too strong, this guy Mitrovic, and in a rich goal scoring vein of form at this moment in time. I see 3-1 to Arsenal. I see Arsenal scoring a lot of goals, but I don't see them keeping out Fulham. I see Fulham scoring at least one goal from somewhere, you know, because they were resilient against Liverpool. They were so resilient against Brentford. But I know that was at Craven Cottage, and away from home is not the same story. But they played away from home against Wolves, who are obviously not the greatest goal scoring team, but they didn't let Wolves score here. So hard to predict, but let's say 3-1 to Arsenal. On Sunday, in which nobody has many players left anyway. Aston Villa versus West Ham United. I expect Aston Villa to win this game, although West Ham United would be looking to get back. West Ham have spent a lot of money, guys. They've signed Gianluca Scamacca. They've signed Lucas Paqueta from Lyon. I mean, they made some really good signings, West Ham United. Once they start to gel and they start to come together, West Ham could really become a force to reckon with. But at this moment in time, I see Aston Villa winning this game 2-1. I think Gianluca Scamacca starts this game 2-1. I think Aston Villa would win this game. Wolves versus Newcastle, I see it as a very interesting battle because last week Wolves were excellent against Tottenham. Tottenham actually scored the goal against the run of play a bit. Wolves were actually pushing them back, playing really well in the first half. And, I see this game a very cagey affair. Maybe it could end in a 1-1 or a 0-0 kind of a scoreline. I don't see Newcastle scoring too many goals because Wilson is injured. I don't see Chris Wood coming in and replacing them straight away. George says, I think Gabriel and Saliba can handle Mitrovic. Ben White playing right back, not centre back. That is true. That is absolutely true. But still, this is a force to reckon with. This guy is a big guy and hard to kind of stop. So Wolves Newcastle, I'm predicting a 1-1, guys. I see FPL some predicted a 2-1. He says NATO scores. I would be absolutely delighted with that. And the last one, Spurs versus Nottingham. I see Spurs winning this. This is going to be KG1. Nottingham, how many goals have they been conceding? See, 1 goal to Everton, and that also they conceded to, I think, Demarai Gray right at the end. Yeah, Demarai Gray. Before this, I think it was a win against West Ham United. The first match, Nottingham Forest, yeah, they conceded 2-3. I don't think they concede too many goals. I think 2-0 or 1-0 kind of a scoreline to Spurs. Even if Spurs have to win this one, I think it could be a 1-0 or 2-0 kind of a scoreline. I don't see too many goals here in this game, guys. So yeah, let's see and let's hope for the best. This is with the predictions, guys. These are all my predictions, and just from watching all the games and eye tests, I just try to predict. I don't claim to be an expert or a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball, but sometimes this exercise helps you judge at the end of the game week. Were you right about certain teams? Were you right about certain players? Is your thinking going the right way? Or if it doesn't work out, then you can realign and try to become more aligned with the trend of the game. That's all we need to do. Lightrace says it's going to be own goals on Sunday. I have no players involved. It's gonna be interesting, bro. George says Forest have statistically the worst defense in the league. Is that so? That would be. I would like to check that, George. Let's go to Fantasy Football Fix. Let's check it out. I would honestly, I would like to check that. Where are the Opta stats? No, not just a second, guys. I would like to check that. If Nottingham Forest has the worst defensive record, it looked pretty good to me when I watched their games. Actually, I'll just select all. Defending. Shots conceded. Just a second, guys. Sorry, guys. Just trying to. Yeah. There you go. So defending. Let's see. Shots conceded. Total. Nottingham Forest have conceded 61 shots. That's insane. Oh my days. Bournemouth is second, is second by a distance. 49, 48, 47. That's insane. 35 shots in the box compared to 28. Look at Crystal Palace, guys. 48 shots conceded, but 36 in the box. I did read the stats, but I kind of just skipped my mind. Expected goals conceded. Highest, Nottingham Forest. Not boding well for anybody who doesn't own Spurs players, is it, guys? But honestly speaking, I think these XG stats they're a bit skewed, because of the more number of shots which they are conceding. Expected clean sheets. Least for Nottingham Forest. West Ham. Tackles. We don't need to look at the tackles, recoveries, clearances, interception, blocks. No. I think shots are the only thing which we need to see. Conceded. How many goals have they conceded? Leicester have conceded the most amount of goals. Look, I mean, Nottingham Forest are the worst for the shots conceded, worst for shots in the box conceded. But look at how many goals they've conceded. Where are they? They've conceded just 3 goals. What are the strikers in the Premier League doing, guys? They can't score goals from such high XG chances. It's insane. But maybe it's because they were playing against West Ham and Newcastle United in the first 2 games that the stats are so skewed. But yes, George was right, guys. They have the worst defensive stats in the league, especially for shots conceded. In the box, they're close second, just behind Crystal Palace. So yeah. Let's hope it doesn't come to fruition, especially for all of those of us who don't own any Tottenham players. Lighter says, Wiz, any ideas what players are you looking to bring in next week? Lighter is, I'm actually going to watch the games this game week and then going to make up my mind. I was thinking about Pascal Gross, Rodrigo, and these kind of players. I'm also thinking about Perisic as well. So I'm gonna have to watch these games this game week, and then I'm gonna have to come to a conclusion. But I have a list of 4, 5, 6 players in mind, like Rodrigo, Ivan Toney, Rodrigo, Aronson, Ivan Perisic. Maybe replace Ramsdale with Sanchez and take the money out. So I've got lots of ideas at the moment. Nothing is fixed. So let's see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens, guys. For all of you predicting 0-1 to Nottingham and Spurs, and look, Pro Gamer says Nottingham Forest is gonna win. We might be in for a surprise when Spurs put 3 or 4 past them, and not owning their players is gonna be difficult to watch that game. Possibly I should order a sofa. Barry says opinions on Isaac. I think Alexander Isaac is a good player. He's not a clinical striker. He's 22 years old, so he's going to develop into a good striker. Definitely, I think Arsenal were really interested in signing him in January. He's a really good player, really good prospect, but in terms of FPL, I don't know how he's going to adapt to the Premier League. Let's see him join, let's see him play, score a few goals, and that's the only time we can bring him in. At this moment in time, in the same price bracket, I like Ivan Toney and Mitrovic. I think they're more suited to playing in the Premier League. They're already scoring goals. They're already used to the league. And like any new player coming into the league, except if you're Erling Haaland coming into the Manchester City team, it's gonna be hard, my friend. So let's see how he plays. I like him as a player. Definitely do like him. Sush says Manchester United, Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, all of them are winning today. Well, that's what we expect, my friend Sush. But let's see. Sometimes we're in for a surprise. For example, last week, United versus Liverpool, we were expecting Liverpool to win, and again, many other games. For example, we didn't expect Brighton to keep a clean sheet away at West Ham United. So these leads to beat Chelsea, we were not expecting that. Sometimes this league is one of the most competitive leagues in the world. You never know what can happen. Southampton versus United is not as easy as you were thinking. They can trouble United, and Fulham can score against Arsenal as well. Well, anyways, guys, let's see what happens. Paz says, I'm lucky to transfer out Nato for Rodrigo last week. Actually, I was just going to remove Nato because want to avoid a price drop. Well, Faz, to be honest with you, my transfers till today have never been governed by price changes. But whatever works out for you, my friend, it's all about luck, fortune, and fortune favors the brave. So you made the right decision and it worked out for you. Good. Well done, my friend. And hopefully Rodrigo keeps doing well until your wildcard. He's been scoring lots of points. Anyways, guys, so with this we come to an end of today's deadline stream. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for joining. I had lots of fun as well, and I hope I was able to answer your questions. Please, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at WizFPL. I do tweet during the games. Sometimes I join spaces as well, and we plan to start our own spaces in the coming times as well. So thank you so much for attending the stream, guys. And I hope to see you for the Game Week 5 deadline. Till then, take care, have fun, may the arrows be green. Bye everyone.